This is PC747. Nubia is trying to put out some red magic. Is it truly magic? The gaming phone industry, man, look, let's back up a little bit. About a year ago, Razer put out a phone. You know, it was a gaming phone. On paper, specs-wise, I'd just say it was probably one of the best, if not the best phone out there, minus the camera. In fact, I think the one thing that hurt them, other than the camera, is when they released the phone. They released it up against some heavy hitters. You had people waiting on the Google Pixel 2 XL and 2. You had the next version of the Note 8 coming out, and that was right after Samsung had all their issue with the Note 7, so people was anticipating that. And then you had Apple with their new iPhone X. So they had a lot of competition out there that really hurt really pushing that out there. Still, I think Razer knew what they were doing. They were trying to just test the market and see if there was a need for that. There was an industry there. And it appears to be one. So much so that Nubia is saying, well, you know what? Maybe we should throw our hats in that ring. And we're looking at a phone that will have 8 gigabytes of RAM, 128 gigabytes of storage, 3,800 milliamp hour battery life. And at $500, man, you're talking about a phone that can be a sleeper right here. Now the question is gonna be, is that 24 megapixel camera gonna do just enough to satisfy those who want a decent camera? And how well it performs. See, Nubia, what they're gonna have to get around is when they release this phone. They can't make the same mistakes that people have done in the past. You take Essential last year. You know, there was a lot of hype around that phone. And had they been smart enough and released it pretty early, as well as fixed all the bugs they had, they probably could have got a big jump on the market. But instead, they waited and waited and waited and released up against the heavy hitters. And you cannot release your phones up against those heavy hitters. Samsung, they're gonna get those numbers. iPhone, Apple, they're gonna get their numbers. And Google is quietly becoming that third leg right there. Now, with HTC, they're pretty much falling out of the race. Motorola is more leaning toward being that mid-tier phone. Yeah, there is a spot right here where somebody could capture the market there. And the gaming phone, man, we've been talking about Android, which is already saturated, needing some fresh light there. And these gaming phones may be just that. Unfortunately, there aren't a lot of high-power games in the Google Play Store, which you compare to what Apple have in the iTunes Store. But look, if you build it, people may come. And having this high-power phone that can support it may get developers to create those games for that. Either way, I think this is a phone you should look at. And I'm gonna be looking at it to see how well it does. If they're able to get it out. Especially if they can get it out to the right market and get it out soon enough. But the other issue they're gonna have to deal with, because Nubia, parent company ZTE, is dealing with US sanctions against them, where they're preventing the sale of the phone here in the States, as well as American manufacturers and software developers for supporting it. So it's going to be interesting to see if this also affects Nubia, which is a part of them. If it does, then, man, there went a potentially awesome looking phone from coming to the market. But if it doesn't, and they're able to capitalize on getting this phone out in the early summer, right there in that dead period, and the software is right, the camera is just good enough, the specs are perfect. And by perfect, I mean, on paper, is what we're seeing out of these gaming phones, which is high end. And they may end up being a sleeper phone of the year. This is PC747. Red Magic, out.